Welcome back to the channel. So I kind of wanted to do a series where I just kind of talk about random Yu-Gi-Oh topics. And this one has been on my mind for a while now, honestly for years, something that I've been wanting to say because I've been in the space of hosting tournaments and doing commentary. And, you know, I've seen a lot of people do commentary for Yu-Gi-Oh! And I love watching tournaments. I love watching like fighting game tournaments and Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments and stuff like that. But I think that we need to have a conversation about what is good and bad commentary, because I feel like a lot of the time, some people don't know when they're commentating that they're actually just coaching. And so we have to unpack a lot here, right? The main thing is that you can't police people when they are playing in an online tournament. Unfortunately, like, there's nothing you can really do to police it. So what I mean is, if you host an online tournament, obviously you're going to have a live stream for it, and you can't really tell someone that they can't watch the live stream while they're playing in a tournament. So because you can't possibly police that, you have to just accept that when you are speaking, right, when you're watching a duel and you're commentating it, you're speaking on a live stream, you have to expect that some number of players, if not all players, are listening to what you are saying. And this is important because you as a watcher have a better grasp on the game state than the people in the game, because you're not actually playing in it, so you can see it from like a better angle. For example, when I'm dueling and recording and talking to another person, it is much harder to be 100% on point with everything, because I'm speaking, I'm entertaining, you know, I have Kenny in my ear, I have Stango, whoever, right? And this is just a nerf that happens when you're doing like YouTube or whatever. When you're playing in a tournament, the same thing is happening, right? You're thinking about so many things. You're thinking about what your opponent might have. You're looking at how many cards they have compared to how many cards you have. You're thinking about life points. If you can OTK, if you do have to OTK, how do you do it? There's a lot going on in your head. But someone who's watching, their brain power is just focused on making the right play in this moment without any of the pressure, right? They have no stakes. You have no stakes as a commentator. When you're commentating something, you're just watching it. You're like, I don't care what happens in this because it's not me playing. So it's easier for your brain to just know what the right play is, or you get to it faster. But I think as a commentator, our job is also to keep the integrity of tournaments, online tournaments. And a lot of commentators, and this is not in regards to any one person, right? There are multiple commentators who do this. But I think that we just have to be careful with saying things that are like coaching. Like it is not even, you're not even commentating, you're literally just coaching at that point. And this does bother me. Like, it's something that genuinely does bother me, because I think that it ruins the integrity of the game. It ruins the integrity of tournaments. When you see a play that is lethal and you feel like as a commentator you need to immediately say like, oh, he has game, oh, he just does this and then flip this, and you know, he tributes for Kaya's here and special summon Swap Frog, and it's exact game. It's like, bro, we get it. Like, you know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think that there's this ego thing going on with a lot of commentators where they feel the need to say what the opponent is supposed to do to win the game, as if they're like trying to prove themselves to their audience that like they know how to play the game. But like, nobody is watching this because they don't think that you know how to play or you know how to do a lethal line, right? Like, that's not the point why anybody will be watching you commentate. But I think a lot of commentators do fall into this trap of wanting to just feel superior or feel like, you know, I figured out how to win. And it doesn't make you look cool. It doesn't make you look smart. Honestly, it actually is kind of toxic. I actually had a tournament yesterday, a redo tournament, and there was a person in the tournament who lost after my co-commentator blatantly said exactly what the play was to win the game, and then the opponent did it right after, and then he came in the chat and was like, thanks for saying exactly what my opponent needed to do to win. And I felt bad because it's like, damn, that really did happen. Like, if you go back and watch the stream, like, the play was said out loud, what was game, and then the guy did it. Now, whether he would have seen it or not, that's not really the point. Like, you saying it out loud before it happens is coaching. And that is also, like, as a commentator, there's so many things to talk about. Like, you don't have to talk about that specifically. You don't have to specifically say like how to win the game. Like, I promise you, you can commentate without specifically saying what the right play is on every single turn. That is, because then at that point, it's like, what the hell is the point of them even playing if you're just going to watch their game and dictate exactly what they should be doing? Now, granted, this can cut both ways. Some commentators are fucking bad at the game, so like their commentary is not trustworthy. And if you listen to them, you actually probably will lose or might lose because they're just bad at the game. And so I'm not going to say any names, but some people who host tournaments or do online stuff and they commentate, if they tell you the play to do, you should be cautious because it's probably not the right one. But there's a reason why when you guys watch me commentate, I tend to veer away from saying like, oh, he has game right here, he just does this, discard this, special this, flip this, do this. Like, I don't do that. I wait for them to make a play, and then after they commit to a play, then that's when you can say, okay, here's what he could have done. But to say it before they do it, it's like, it just ruins the whole integrity of the situation, because now, like I said, you don't know if they're watching or not, but most likely they are, because that's what people do at online events. They watch the stream. They just have it up on the side. They might not even be like necessarily watching it, right? But they will have it just open because, again, there's no way for us to know. Like, they're in their fucking bedroom just like I am, right? So they don't, you can't tell, and you can't tell them that they can't. So when you say certain things, it will kind of be like, imagine this, right? Imagine you're at a YCS or RBET or whatever, right? Imagine you're at an event and your opponent just has a crowd of people around them who are looking at their hand, and they just say, oh, you have game. Just normal Sirocco, special Bora, activate return, bring back Sirocco, double pump, target Bora both times, attack for game. Like, imagine that, like, is literally while you're playing at an RBET or YCS or whatever. Like, imagine that literally happens. Like, your opponent literally just has multiple people behind them just screaming out like, this is how you win this turn. Like obviously if that happened, you would probably be a little upset, right? You'd be a little tight if there were just people telling your opponent what the right play was. That's literally what's happening when you're commentating and you're just saying out loud, like, you know, do this or do that. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. I mean, in real life, if you did that, that is literally cheating, right? Like, that is against policy. It's against the rules. And I'm only talking about specifically in tournament settings. Like, I don't care if you're like, you know, this is just some randoms on DB ladder right now. Actually, the one guy at the bottom, I played him in the tournament this past weekend where I played 60 cards. It was just coincidence. I just noticed that name, Escapery. But to the point, like, if you're commentating a tournament, if you're spectating a tournament, there's commentary and then there's coaching. And I think the two things should not be synonymous. Like, commentary should not be coaching. And a lot of times it is, and it is very, very cringe. Like, I'm just going to say it is very cringe if the entire commentary is just focused around, like, calling out the right play. Now, I know people, you know, we all have egos and everything like that. It's Yu-Gi-Oh! I get it. It's a very fun game. I love it. And I love seeing the right play myself, right? Like, I love knowing if somebody made the right play. I love knowing if somebody misplayed. But I think that there's just a line, a very thin line between commentary and coaching, and you have to be careful not to cross that line because you can literally ruin someone's match by you saying what the play is when you see it. Like, oh, he has game here. Like, even that is dangerous, right? Because one, maybe the person wasn't even thinking about going for lethal this turn. Like, maybe they genuinely don't see it. People miss lethal all the time, right? Like, we've seen it all the time. Like, I miss lethal. Everyone misses lethal. Like, it's just a part of the game. You have, if you watch a replay, you'll just get into a situation where, like, you might not have noticed something, and then you watch replay, you're like, oh, wow, I could have won right here. And not like on a hindsight thing, right? Not like well, if I just said his back row wasn't real. I'm talking about it was blatantly right there in your face. You could have won, but you didn't see it because there's a mental stack with Yu-Gi-Oh! When you're playing the game, when you're in tournaments and you're just dueling, there's a mental stack. So there's a part where your brain might not notice something very simple. You might not see that you just go Goyo, equip double armory arm, attack over his Goyo for 56 plus whatever battle damage it is, right? Like, you might not see that in the game. But if somebody says you have lethal, and then they start saying, oh, you just put 2 armory arms on Goyo Guardian and then you attack over his, and even if he has Gores, he dies. Like, if you just say that out loud on commentary, it's like, well, damn, I guess that's what he's gonna do now and kill me. Like, what if he just didn't see that? What if he made some subpar play because we're all humans. We're all normal people, right? Like, none of us are perfect. There's not a single perfect player. So it's just one of those things that I see it too much, and I was hoping that like it would kind of self-correct itself, but it's actually like not at all. Like, a lot of people are just still doing this on comms, and it's just like, bro, there are so many things to talk about when you're commentating. You could just talk about random shit like I do. Like, I talk about the game, and I also talk about things that are just like Yu-Gi-Oh related or whatever. So that way I don't ruin someone's match and say like, oh, right here, he should make Stardust Dragon. Like, he should make Stardust right here. Oh my god, he makes Stardust here. He puts both in attack mode. He puts the Gores in attack mode. He puts the token in attack mode. And then how many darks does he have? Does he have enough darks for Dark Arm? Oh, he just does this. He stacks for Plague, and it's like, relax. Like, we get it. You know how to play. You're a commentator. You know how to play. We get it. It's cool. You don't need to call out what they should be doing while they're dueling. It is really, really bad. I'm going to read some in the chat now too. So Nico says, I've had my opponent's teammates standing behind me, backseat gaming me. I do miss lethal all the time. True. As a spectator, I see all kinds of sick lines. When I'm the player, I'm cooked. Yeah, and this is a normal thing. Like, when you're commentating, when I'm commentating, I'm the best player in the world, right? When I'm commentating, because I don't have any stakes in this duel, I can watch this game. Now, this is just a random DB ladder match. I can watch this game from start to finish, and I can know exactly what to do in every situation, at least to a degree, way better than the people who are playing, because I'm not using any brain power like they are to actually do the actions. Like, he just brought back Treeborn Frog. He drew for turn, so now he's thinking about what he drew for turn. Like, there's a lot going on in your mind. You're thinking about your life points, if you're going to lose, like outing the Stardust. Whereas I'm just watching with no stakes, and it's much easier for me to see, like, objectively, this is the right play here. And so, again, I think as commentators... Oh, also, I just noticed this guy is playing a... Is this 60 cards? I think this is a 60 card deck. Is this the deck that I was playing? But yeah, I just think in general, there's a very thin line between commentary and coaching. And I don't think it's that hard to not coach when you are commentating. Going back to the beginning, always fire content. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, I plan to do a bunch of these. I have a bunch of different topics I like to talk about just randomly, like whenever I get time. They don't have to be super long live streams or super long videos or anything like that. You gave people fire again with the 60 card list. Well, yeah, that came from SASP, and I just updated it to my taste, my liking. You know how I am. I always like to change things up. But that list is genuinely very good in my opinion. Like, I do think the 60 card frog deck is just like, I think it's valuable. I think frogs are so powerful that it's valuable. Just do bad takes when doing commentary, then problem fixed. Yeah, but see, that's also I feel like missing the plot there, because I already did mention that some of the commentators are bad, and so they'll say a play and it's just wrong, or they don't have the information to make the right play, and so they're saying something without full context and they're just completely wrong in a situation. And that's also bad for a different reason. But then there are situations where, like, again, there is objectively a correct play to be made here, and it's visible to the commentators, it's visible to the people in chat, and the commentators just feel the need to just like scream out like, oh, he just does this here, he just makes this guy, he makes Excalibur, he attacks over his god for game. It's like, bro, let him do it. Like, literally let him do it, because there's a chance that he wasn't thinking about that, and there's a chance that he wasn't going to think about that. And I think the best example of this is when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh in person. You are not allowed to have your friend behind you saying, oh, you have game. You have game. Just like summon Brionic, pitch 2, banish Value, banish Sirocco, special summon Armwing, normal Armageddon Knight, send Plague, stack for Plague. Like, you're not allowed. That's not a thing. That's literally not a thing. That can't, if you're in the RBT, if you're at a YCS, if you're at any tournament, any real tournament, you are going to get fucking DQ'd if you do that. Like, you cannot do that. So why do people think it's okay to do that on commentary is basically the point. Exactly. Hydro Pump. I'm glad you're saying that. Yeah. You said, I'm not a fan of commentating on potential plays before they happen regardless. Exactly. And that's my point, is like, which is why you guys notice when I commentate, I usually talk about other things than literally what they are supposed to do. Right? I usually say, like, after they make the play, I'll say, huh, that's interesting. He could have done this instead. After they've already committed to something. Like right here, I could say he should make Colossal Fighter or something. Or like, oh, he could have made Thought Ruler. Like, let's say he flips up Mask and Restrict right here. If he flips up Mask and Restrict, then I'm like, oh, okay, you probably should have made Thought Ruler instead of Stardust, because Stardust doesn't do anything. But like, you get people all the time who just feel the need to say exactly what the play is. Even if it's not for game, it's just like the right play, and they just feel the need to call it out, I guess, to convince themselves or their audience that like, you know how to play the game, and I don't get it. It's like your audience knows that you know how to play the game. Like, we're all Yu-Gi-Oh players, we all get it. Like, I know a cool line that's lethal right here. Let's see. We saw this a lot in esports with commentators blaming players, plays, etc. Such poor viewer experience. You know, it's interesting though, because in fighting games, I was talking to Stengo about this last night, because this is like, again, this commentary coaching thing is like in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's really big. In fighting games, it doesn't matter, because when Stengo is playing Melee or Rivals of Aether or whatever game, one, he can't hear the commentators when he's playing. Like, they literally can't hear the commentators. They're playing on a stage, they're playing, you know, wherever. They can't hear the commentators. That's the first thing. Unfortunately, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Online events, like, you can hear the commentators because they're on YouTube. They're on YouTube. So like, you can just have the YouTube stream open and almost everyone is watching the stream. Like, if we're being perfectly honest, people are watching the stream. So we can just like, let's cut the shit. The players in the tournament are watching the stream. They're listening to the stream. You can't stop them from doing it, because you don't know, you can't tell somebody in their bedroom, in their home, to turn off the stream. You can't do that. It's not a thing. So because you can't police it, you cannot put a rule on it that they can't watch the stream. So let's just get past that, right? They are listening, they're watching, and you telling them the right play is literally ruining the integrity of the game. And if you get, again, think about it, like in person, would you stand behind someone and say, oh, you have game? Oh, you just summon this and drop Dark Arm and he has 3, like, you would not do that in person. And you can't do that in person. You literally can't do that. You'll be kicked out. If I stood behind a Gary Yu or a True Hero and I was like, Cairo, you have game. Just summon Dark Arm and flip up your whatever, Raiko, pop his thing, and like, I would literally be kicked out the event. And probably banned. Like, probably actually banned. Right? But like, when you're commentating, it's this, you're doing the exact same thing. And I don't understand, like, I don't know. It's a little bit triggering, because again, this stemmed from a guy coming in my chat yesterday after the tournament. Not even after the tournament. While we were commentating, he came in and was like, because my co-host, unfortunately, not to put him on blast, because this isn't about him specifically, this is about just, there's multiple people who do this. But my co-host said the right play, and then the opponent did it right after. And like, he was like, well, thank you. Like, he came in the comments like, well, thank you for saying exactly what he should do to kill me right there. Like that, you know. And I felt so bad. I was like, that's really messed up, because imagine me sitting here, right, during one of my tournaments, and I literally, from start to finish, coach a frog player. Because most frog players are not on my level. Like, since we're talking about egos anyway, most frog players mess up all the time, but I just let them. I just watch them do their thing, and I'm like, huh, okay, that was an interesting play. Like, I say things like that. But I don't say, he should definitely go into Uni and dupe here, attack directly first, and then sack for Kai's main phase 2. I don't do that. I could do that. I see it. Like, I blatantly know that he could do that, but I don't say that, because, like, that is literally telling him the right play. Then they do something wrong, and they end up, like, you know, losing or whatever. But that's fine. Like, that's their play. They're playing the game. That's how they didn't see the right play, and that's okay. But like, for me to sit up here and be like, oh, he should absolutely go like salvage here, add back these two, special summon swap frog, send a thing, bounce it, extra normal summon uni frog, attack directly, pop the oppression. Like, it's like, okay, like, why don't you play then? Why don't you just play? Since you fucking know everything, you got your degree. And I'm kidding, like, I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna read some more chat. Graham Switch says, I don't think there's blatant coaching in the anime, although they cheat in every imaginable way. Yeah, I mean, anime is definitely, the anime is a very bad way to get into Yu-Gi-Oh, because the anime literally promotes cheating in so many different ways, unfortunately. Like, it's just kind of, everywhere in the anime in all different kinds of ways. I think My Valentine, she had like perfume on her cards so she could cheat. Bandikeith was doing some kind of cheats. Pegasus is cheating with the Millennium Eye. Yugi's doing Heart of the Cards, so his puzzle makes him draw the card he needs. Like, the anime is just rife with cheating. Like, it's everywhere. Snack says, this is a good point. Something I will try to work on for future streams of DDV tourneys. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you're commentating, you just have to be careful to not blatantly ruin the integrity of the tournament, of the game that you're watching, because the players are listening. They're listening. Like, and we know they're listening. Like, we don't have to be ignorant about this. We don't have to be like, oh, but like they shouldn't be watching. Because I think the same thing. I would like for people not to watch the stream while they're dueling for multiple reasons. One, it is a little annoying when I'm talking on commentary and then the person who's in the match will respond to something that I'm talking about in chat. Like, that is like, bro, play your game, because you taking time away to type on YouTube, to me, is literally stalling the game out. Like, your opponent is waiting for you to make a play, like respond to their play. They need your attention. The same way, and I go back to real life. I just like, think about this in real life. If I were playing you, and my friend walked up to me and started talking to me in the middle of our duel, and I just went over to him and was like, yo, Gary, did you win your last round? How'd it go? What'd he do? Oh, he did that? And I just fully start talking to Gary. Like, and you're in front of me just like, yo, I'm summoning Armwing. Do you have a response? And I'm just like talking to Gary. I'm just talking to Gary. And me and Gary are having a conversation. That would be so ridiculous. And that's just how so I don't like when people talk during their match in a duel, but I can't tell them to turn the stream off, because you can't police that. Wasn't expecting you to be streaming at this time. Yeah, the reason why I'm streaming at this time is because I actually took off of work today because I've been sick for the last couple of days. I've been sick since Sunday. I've had a cold, and I was told my boss, I was like, I'm just gonna take off because I'm not feeling well. I've literally, I mean, you guys saw me on stream last night. I have a roll of toilet paper near me because I've been blowing my nose. My nose is so sore right now. My nose is like raw and sore from blowing my nose like a million times. I've taken NyQuil constantly. Like, I'm a wreck. I'm an absolute wreck. But I was just like, you know what? I can't do nothing because my brain just, I'm a workaholic. Like, I cannot just sit around. So even though I'm sick, I'm like, at this point, I've NyQuil'd and slept enough. I need to get up and do something. And I was like, I'm going to record. I want to go live and I want to talk about this. I want to do more of these videos. I have a whole list of topics I want to talk about, not on this live stream, but just throughout the next couple of months. Like, I will be doing these live streams, and they're just supposed to be a dialogue between us about just, you know, random topics. And this is the first one that I want to talk about because it's relevant for multiple instances of things that have just passed, including my tournament last night. And I mean, you guys remember, like, I did have to tell my co-host multiple times, like, hey, like, don't coach. Like, again, like, don't coach. And, you know, I love him. Like, I love him to death, right? Like, we're very cool. He's one of my biggest supporters. I love the guy. But, and this is the thing, I've been a commentator, I've been a content creator for years, right? Like, he has not. So I don't fault him for not knowing or not thinking the way that I do, right? Like, it's like somebody's first day on the job. You know, I've been doing this for years. Like, at least 2 years I've been doing this. So it's like, if somebody's first day on the job, they don't know, they're not thinking the way you're thinking. They're not thinking of like, oh, you probably shouldn't say that because the person's watching. But like, I've thought about these things because I care so much about, one, the integrity of the game, and two, the commentary job. And just, why do I see my name over here? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're saying. Do I have any Italians in chat right now who can translate? My focus with commentary has been to try and make new players who are spectating aware of what the board state is threatening, but this can definitely lead way too far into the realm of coaching. Yep. They literally change rules. For example, in all animes, you can normal summon in defense mode. Yeah, that's just wild. Like, you can never, that's not a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh at all. And the fact that the anime shows that. And when I was a kid, I normal summon in defense mode all the time. Like, I would just be like, summon giant soldier stone in defense mode. Good point. It would be like if you're playing chess and you just go into the top rated move from the engine. Right. Like, No way I'm listening to a stream when I play in tournament. Yeah, but Hydro, unfortunately, most players are listening to the stream when they play in tournament. Like, I promise you. In fact, this is how much I know people are listening to the stream. A lot of times when they ask for a ruling, I will say out loud on the stream, like, oh, this is how this works. Like, they like, oh, how does this work? And I'll be like, it works like this. And then somebody in the duel will be like, Frazier said it works like this. For example, right? This is a widespread thing. And again, that's watching the stream is not cheating. Watching the stream is not against the rules because no one has a rule that you can't do it. So again, we can't stop you from watching the stream. Like, no one who holds an online tournament can stop you from watching the stream. And it would be dumb for them to try, because how do you know what I have on my screen, right? I have two screens, right? I actually have three, but I have these two screens right here. One right here with Dueling Book. This one has like OBS and a bunch of other shit. This has chat. This has everything. This screen. I could have my Dueling Book. I'm playing my opponent right here, and I could have the stream up right here, Discord right here, the website for rulings right there. Like, you can't tell people that they can't watch the stream because you can't know what they're doing in their bedroom. I can't watch E3 commentate personally because he backseats too much and judging the plays instead of commentating. Yeah, I am completely unable to listen to people speaking when I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Too much audio overload. Yeah, unfortunately, everyone is not the same though. Like, and I think that's like the thing, is like, we have to understand that there are people who are able to listen and play, especially you don't even need to really listen that hard. If a commentator says out loud, oh, he has game, now this is what you've done. The person listening whose turn it is now looking for game when they might not have been. There's a chance they just were not even thinking about that. People miss lethal all the time. And this is just one example. It doesn't have to be a lethal line. I'm just using this as an example. So don't like hone in on that specific situation. This is a widespread thing across, like, you're just telling them the right play. I know how to play Forgs better than most people. And if I'm watching a Forg player fuck up, I'm not going to tell them like what they should be doing and what they should have done, because it literally ruins the integrity of the match when I do that. Like, if I just say out loud, like, he could go for this line and it's 100% game through gores, if I say that out loud, that is coaching. Like that, like, there's no way around it. And again, you would not do that in person. You would not walk up to two people playing a duel and out loud at an RBET stand over top of them and go, oh, you have game here if you just make double army arm and summon Black Rose Dragon, put his Dupe Frog in attack mode by banishing your Dandelion, keep your Substitute on the field so it can't die in battle. Everybody attacks it, and then at the last minute have your Substitute crash into this so it dies, and then attack over the Dupe Frog. So like, you would not do that. To me, if you're in a game that's being commentated on and you make a comment about what the commentator is saying, or even watching the stream during your game, there's something ethically wrong there. Well, what's ethically wrong there, Rob? Like, you have to elaborate on that. What is ethically wrong about you being in a game that is being commentated on? Okay, wait, I have to reread this. So if you're in a game that's being commentated on, you make a comment about what the commentator is saying, or even watching the stream during your game. So watching the stream, again, I don't care because you cannot stop it from happening. I do care if you are talking in chat during your game about like, I don't care what I say. If I'm commentating, because I will not tell you the lethal line. You guys know I don't do that. Like, I'm not about to just sit there and be like, this is game right here, do this, make this exact play. But if I'm talking and like you are dueling and then you come in the chat and start talking, like I said, I do think that is like wrong, because it is disrespectful to your opponent if nothing else. Like, now if there's a ruling though, I do not mind if they need a ruling and they're watching the stream and I give the ruling and they respond in chat like, hey, or they even ask. If they even ask in chat, I don't mind. If like something happens, they normal summon Absolute Zero and they go prio with substitute, and the opponent's like, can you do that? Because some people don't know how prio works. So they might be like normal summon, substitute, then play Miracle Fusion, summon Absolute Zero, and they go priority with substitute. And the opponent might genuinely be like, wait, can you use priority with substitute when you summon Absolute Zero? And then I could say out loud on comms, like, yeah, you can do that. That is a legal play. And then they go, thank you. Like, and then go back to their duel. I'm fine with that. I don't mind that. But like, it can get really, really dicey if you say, oh, he should use prio here with absolute. He should use prio here when he summons Absolute Zero with substitute and tribute it that way. It dodges this, it does that, it does this, and then it clears the field, and then he can go into Unifrog. It's like, all right, well then why don't you just play the damn tournament? Why don't you just register as every single person and just play? Just mirror match yourself all. Like, what is the point? They're saying if it's the real Frazier that's watching. Oh, so that's what they were saying. And is this, what language is this? This is Italian, I'm assuming. This is definitely Italian, right? One of the guys' name is Spaghetti Meatballs. So, so like, yeah. But this is really me you watching. Yeah, this is my account. I mean, if they go on YouTube, they'll notice that it's me. Thug Tier says I listen for a round timer. I dare say you need to listen to stream for key information. Again, I am not mad at people watching the stream while they are playing in a tournament, because I know so many people do it and we can't stop it. So I don't want to harp on that too much, because that, I've given up on that a long time ago. I've given up on that back in the RBET online days when I used to play in RBETs, and like I would notice that people would comment, like they would come into the chat and they're dueling, and I was like, oh shit, that's a thing. This is before I was hosting tournaments. This is like 2022, and they would be talking in chat while playing a tournament match, and I was like, damn. And then I thought about it, like, I guess you can't stop it. Like, what can you say? Dominant Couch says actual coaching is a lot harder than people think. Yes, actual coaching is a lot harder than people think. I agree. In League of Legends, there is a 2 or 3 minute spectator delay, and that is the base game, not just tournaments. If you watch a match live, you'll always be 3 minutes behind. So I did think about doing that type of thing for my streams, like doing a delay. But honestly, I don't feel like that's necessary. I feel like I could just, first of all, I'm not the guy that gives I'm not a coaching commentator. I fucking talk about the lowering baby boom that we're experiencing right now, where children are not being born in Japan, and it's actually going to fuck up their economy in a couple years because they're just not having children. Like that, these are the topics that I talk about on comms, right? Like I rarely talk about the exact match that is happening, and when I do talk about the match, I don't say what the right play is when I see the right play. Like I will not say right here he should go into Swap Frog and bounce the Stratos. I will not say that. This, like, I won't tell him to do that. Yeah, if he fucking does that, like, but I will not do that when they're in tournament, because there's a chance that I'm telling the player like what they should be. They might not be thinking about that. Maybe he wanted to go dupe substitute pass. Maybe he was going to do that. All you can say is online is not real. Oh God, that's a whole different conversation. Online is definitely different than in real life, right? Like it's very different. Because the other thing is, and this is like one of the problems, is that online you also don't know how many people you're dueling against, right? Like that's a whole different thing. Maybe that'll be another video. So Rob says it feels like soft cheating. It's legal, yes, but it's in the gray area that makes it questionable. For real, yeah. Thanks for watching my game earlier. I got smacked for sure. I needed your coaching. Land Matter, were you playing my deck? Were you playing my list? If it's for ruling, then I don't necessarily care. If it's the coaching aspect of it, I would chat my ass. Yeah, my apologies about how I worded my initial comment. It sounded a lot better in my head than how it came out. I can see how that was confusing. You just got to have the stream on a delay. Only real thing you can do. Well, no, I think as me being the commentator, I think that we as commentators, right? There's only a few of us. I think we as commentators can just do better. I think that the onus is on us, I think. Like, again, if Couch, if I walk up to your match and I see the right play and I just start saying it out loud, you would immediately, well, if I'm doing it for your opponent, you would immediately be like, what the fuck? Judge? Like what is going on here? Like, this fucking guy just told him to kill me. Like how to kill me in Yu-Gi-Oh. Let me be specific. Then you would call a judge. Like if somebody's friend walked up and was like, yo, this is lethal. Like, oh, you have game. Summon this, flip arm wings, special chaos sorcerer, banish this, and then tribute the chaos sorcerer for Caius. It's game, it's exact game. You'd be like, well, that's not real. I'm just calling, like, what are we doing? Like, you're DQ'd, you're fucking banned, like, get out of here. Talking about corn dogs while raw neck is cooking, exactly. What are we saying? So it's bias analysis, not actual commentating. 10v1 is some analysis paralysis. And what do people be going to time? Yeah, I mean, when you're playing online and you're playing somebody on DB, for example, I use myself a lot for examples. When I'm recording content with Kenny or teaching how to cook, it's a 2v1, or at least I assume it's a 2v1. But I assume a lot of times 2v1. It's me and Kenny, or me and whoever I have on Teach Me How to Cook, playing against some other person. It could be more people on their side too, but because they're playing on DB Ladder, I don't expect that there's going to be a bunch of people, but you never know. But let's just assume, right? It's me and Kenny playing against somebody. Now, granted, Kenny is not helping me play Yu-Gi-Oh at all, right? Me and him have had this joke amongst ourselves. I was like, if anything, I'm nerfed by having you in my ear. And that's kind of our bit, is like, I'm worse with you in my ear. But then I've done videos with me and Sizzle go on ladder, right? And I'm playing Value Turbo, and I am nobody's best Value Turbo player. I don't claim to be. You know, I know how to play Value Turbo, just don't know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I don't know how to play Value Turbo at the same level. The same way if he needed to play Hero Frogs, if I was in his ear, it would be fucking unfair because I know how to play Hero Frogs and he doesn't. So in those situations, the opponent doesn't know most of the time that they're playing against multiple people, right? And that is also against the rules, right? Like that is, in theory, that is against the rules. The same way commentating and just telling somebody what the right play is against the rules. Like you would not coach someone on the right play in a tournament. Or at least I hope you wouldn't. So I just want everybody to be a little bit more mindful. And that's what this entire video is supposed to spark, the conversation of when you are commentating, just be careful about what you say, because some things are just not even commentary, it's just coaching. And if your entire commentary is, if you can't help but to just say what the right play is in every situation, then I don't know. I don't want to say like you shouldn't be commentating, but like you do need to just try to not do it, right? Like that, it can't just be call out the right play every turn. Like right here, it cannot, if Chess Prime is commentating this for, like Chess Prime doesn't do commentary, but let's say they were, like, she knows how to do this better than anyone or almost anyone. So I wouldn't know what the right play is, but if my opponent is some random person playing Gigavice and then Chess is on comm saying they should definitely end on Stardust Titanial here, and then the opponent fucking goes into Stardust Titanial here, I'm like, all right, like, god damn it, maybe they were going to do something different. Like, we don't know. And I don't put it past anyone to misplay. Like, let's be real, everybody misplays. I don't give a fuck who they are. I don't care how many tops or wins or whatever. Everybody misplays. Everybody messes up. I promise you, the best of the best. We talk about it all the time. Like, you know, I fucked up last round. I either lost from it or I won from it, whatever. But like, I messed up. I could have done this. I could have done that. Like, it's a thing. Everybody, we're all human. Nobody's perfect. So just when you think, oh, he was going to see that anyway, you don't know that. You don't know that. What's up, Vesper? Even if the commentator stopped coaching, there's no way from stopping chat from doing it. Yeah, but you can't. So there's a big difference between like the commentator, who is usually going to be the TO, right? There's a big difference from them saying it audibly, because while yes, you can read chat, two things. One, chat is literally randoms, like actually randoms, and you have to read chat. Like, you literally have to read chat. Because in theory, there's also nothing stopping somebody from going on DB and messaging the opponent and saying what they should do either, right? If that's the case. An audio cue, like hearing somebody say something while you're playing is way different than reading a text. Because like I could read a text during a real life duel too. Like I could be playing a duel in a tournament and my opponent like looks at their phone or I look at my phone, and that could be cheating too if somebody texts like, oh, like do this or do that. If somebody literally yells like, yo, you have lethal, it's a very big difference. From now on, I'm going to duel like a commentator. You should start trolling people. So I think somebody said that earlier, like, what if you literally just start throwing out the wrong play? And I'm like, no, that's not the point. Like I could literally just start throwing out like bad plays on purpose, but like, why am I doing that? That's also like, fuck, like, why am I doing that? That's childish and weird. Yeah, ProStorm is one of the biggest randoms. He's one of the biggest randoms. But even ProStorm has gotten better with that. ProStorm has gotten a lot better with that because he's been told about that. Like if you notice on my tournaments and my streams, ProStorm does not comment the right play. He does not come in and just say like what the right play is, because me and him have literally had a conversation about this before. Because like my whole thing is, bro, if you want to call out the right play before they make it every time, then fucking play in the tournament. You can just play in the tournament, right? And this is not specifically about him, but like, for example, because he's one of the people who has notoriously in the past, he's in comment section saying what the right play is, like that he loves to do that. And I've literally had to say like, yo, can you not do that? Because like he is obviously on a different level than a lot of the players who are dueling, right? Like when it's randoms, like actual randoms, and then you have somebody like ProStorm, it's like, bro, you actually do know what the right play is. And that's kind of what I'm getting at too. It's on the onus of some of the people who are like even Sizzle doesn't do that shit. When Sizzle watches these Value Turbo players play, you think he doesn't know what the right play is? Like with if he should have flipped Ryko or not, he knows. He just didn't say it. He fucking knows exactly what he should have done. If you're watching over someone's shoulder and you react to the card they drew, that also falls under coaching or cheating. So I agree with that old format guru. That's another thing that in person I've seen situations in person where there's a crowd of people watching, like let's say the finals or something, and somebody will top deck Dark Hole and everybody's like, oh. And now I get it. In the moment, it's really hard to control yourself when you see like, yo, he drew the 1 out type situation, like Heart of the Cards bullshit. Like he literally ripped the Dark Hole. Like I get it. That is like, you know, but I've seen that type of thing happen. It's like, oh shit. So like in person, I would never say anything, but I think that online I would put it on a delay so I could talk about different things someone can do, not necessarily what is correct. Yeah, I mean, and I do in a roundabout way, like in a very roundabout way, talk about the game state, right? Because you can talk about the game state without saying like, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. You said you think how Isala commentates modern Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, for Konami is fantastic. See, the problem is, Couch, I don't actually listen to or watch modern Yu-Gi-Oh because I don't know anything about it right now. So I don't know how Isala commentates, but I'm assuming that he just doesn't blatantly say, I mean, maybe he does because they can't hear him anyway, right? Like the fucking players who are playing in the feature match can't hear Isala. And that's the difference. There's just a big difference because he can just say what the right play is if he wanted to. I don't know how he commentates though, but he could just call it out. Will he get Shore's effect off, or he is going to herald the living shit out of him? He going to teach that boy to dance. A lot of these make sense why judges don't want people crowding around duels at the top tables or standing directly behind players. Yeah, I mean, that is one of the reasons why judges are so anal about having people like not crowd the players, because people whisper, but they're not. Some people suck at whispering. Some people think that they're whispering and they're just, bro, your whisper voice is my normal talk voice. Like, you are not whispering. Like, I can hear you, and my opponent can definitely hear you too. You saying like, oh, he has lethal, he has lethal, he just has to do this and this, is like, you're not whispering. The bad whispers are horrible. Like, I've seen bad whispers in person. I've been a victim of bad whispers in person. Like, I've had people behind me saying things and they're just like, they think they're whispering. I'm like, and I literally will go, I can hear you. Like, please stop. Like, one, I trust myself more than I trust you. So let's start there. Whatever play you think is right, I'm going to go with what I think is right. Because I trust me more than I trust 99.9% of people. But even still, it ruins the integrity if you put something in my mind that wasn't there. If you tell me that I have game and I wasn't thinking about game, I was thinking about how to just live through this turn. I trust Frazier more than I trust myself. You are wild. Taps on shoulder, yells, check the Discord. But yeah, I mean, we ranted about this, what, 47 minutes now? It's been 47 minutes I've been live. Like I said, this is a series that I kind of want to start doing in general. I have a list of topics. I have so many different things I want to talk about. This is just the first one. And I feel like this one is relevant because we're going into worlds. So there's about to be RBT rulers. There's about to be format library worlds. My 1K is coming up. My 1K is coming up literally next week, I think. Yeah, next week I have a 1K. And so, by the way, guys, definitely make sure you play in the 1K. It's $1,000 tournament cash. I send PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, whatever. Like, people who are in my server know. I pay cash. I don't fuck around. I don't bullshit. You get cash money, $1,000. It's Edison format. There are no special rules. It's just straight up Edison format. But I will be commentating, obviously, and I probably will have co-commentators. Now, my co-commentators, like Stango, Kenny, Cairo, Gary, those guys, because we're all a part of the same group, like the house, they know the rules. But when I bring people on who are not necessarily a part of my inner circle, sometimes they don't know, like, because they don't do it or they just haven't talked to me about this type of thing. And so they might say things that are just like, do not say that. So yeah, the 1K is next week. There's a bunch of online tournaments coming up that are going to have major prizes. Like I said, RBT Rulers coming up, and Format Library Worlds is going to be like over $2,500 in prizes. Last year it was over $2,000 in prizes. They had mats and shit. And I'm, you guys know, I'm the Format Library like live streamer, right? Like, so I live stream all Format Library tournaments. And when I'm watching, you'll notice something that I don't do. And that's tell players what the play is in the moment. So it's kind of my point. Sackface says I'm a horrible whisperer. I've never heard you try to whisper, I don't think. So I don't even know if that's, like, I believe you, but I don't think I've ever heard you whisper. Not trying to glaze, but I think he makes it more watchable than gameplay shows sometimes. Deep in your bag, etc. Sackface is actually just bad at losing, because how he commentates modern Yu-Gi-Oh to someone like you would be how your commentary will come across to someone like me who doesn't really play the older formats. Right. All right. But yeah, guys, in the comments and all that, let me know what you think. I think I'm going to end this here. I don't think I have to go much more on this. You should see me when I'm drunk. I do need to see you when you're drunk, Sizzle. I do need to see you when you're drunk. I have, because I watched a recent story of yours and you were singing karaoke, and I am certain you were blasted, because I was looking at you, I was like, oh, he's gone. I am not going to Pittsburgh because Konami they no longer do retro formats, so there is no longer any. In fact, I will not be at any Konami events because they don't do retro. They do Genesis now, and they do modern, and both of those are just modern Yu-Gi-Oh. So I will not be at any YCSs anymore. I can take all of those off my schedule plans, which is nice because there's a bunch of other tournaments starting up in the Edison community that are not Konami. So I'll just be going to those instead. Yeah, I'd rather just go to the grassroots Edison community tournaments. starting next year. Because there's a bunch. There's a lot of different circuits and stuff like that starting next year. So that's going to be really cool. But yeah, Konami dropped the ball. And now it's back to grassroots Edison, which honestly, I'm not mad at because Edison started before Konami got involved. They came in for 2 years. And for 2 years, it was nice. And now they're done. And guess what? Fuck them. So we move on. Will you come to an EU RBET? I actually might. Actually, the funny thing about that, I might go to an EU YCS because for some reason, Europe still has Ultimate Time Wizard. And in 2026, I do want to go to Europe. I want to make it out to a Europe event. So it could either be an RBET or it could be a YCS. I'm not sure which one. But if in 2026, if Europe is still doing Ultimate Time Wizard, there's a high chance I go to it. I just kind of want to go to one. I haven't been to Europe in so long. And I would like to compete and just, you know. High key, the prizing field is much better for the grassroots events. I agree. I wish Genesis didn't replace Time Wizard, but Genesis is very cool. Yeah, Genesis is cool to people who play Modern. Like, if you play Modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, I think it's great. And I do wish that it didn't replace Time Wizard because no one is mad at having more options to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, if Konami was still in the picture, we would have all of the new circuits, plus Konami, plus RBET, plus online, and there's just an abundance of events for people to play in. So that way, if you live in somewhere random that doesn't normally get events, like, you can pick and choose where you're going to go because there's so many to choose from. We got YCS Bologna, Italy in November, YCS Dortmund in February 2026. Why do the European giant cards say this card cannot be used in the tournament? Is that a thing? They all say that? Yeah, I don't really get that. Yeah, I don't know anything about Europe Ultimate Time Wizard. I know that they at least tell them what the giant card is going to be before they show up. In the US, we show up to the event, we have no idea what we're playing for until like the Saturday of, which is also that was just so obnoxious because they started reprinting the fucking giant cards over and over and over again. Like, why are there so many Black Rose Dragons? Why are there so many D-Mox? Why are there so many JDs? Why are there so many, like, everything, like Rescue Cat? Like, there was, I think 3 of the events I went to had Rescue Cat, 3 of the events I went to had Dark Mission of Chaos, 3 of the events I went to had Judgment Dragon, 3 of the events I went to had Minerva. I'm like, what is going on? There are tens of thousands of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right? How many Yu-Gi-Oh cards are there? Do we know? I'm sure Dueling Book, if you just search, like, how many Yu-Gi-Oh cards are there? There's no reason that they should be reprinting giant cards. Like, come on. I know they like to reprint everything, but there's no reason. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna head out. I'll talk to you all later. Peace.